How you write something? Oh, true.
Oh. Ready? All right.
Hold on. Are you?
We are on.
Okay.
All right, we are live. Happy Monday, everybody. Hey, we live. Hey, hey, pay attention. Happy Monday, everybody. We had some technical difficulties again on another Monday, but we figured it out.
Pop it up, so.
And how can I get to, why am I not? I think I shared it like 8 times to my page. Okay, happy Monday. We are having technical difficulties.
Having what?
Huh? Technical difficulties. We having technical difficulties. So if you hear me scream, what are you doing? Oh. What? Okay. He on this side. He over here on this side saving.
Let you get a little.
Okay, we hope
we're sharing the link, so if everyone sees that we're busy right now, it's because we all are sharing all our social networks.
We're sharing,
which we want you guys to do the same. And
I
today,
can't share it for some reason. I don't know why I'm not sharing. Why am I not sharing?
Well, hold on a second.
I just got a new phone, so.
Oh, you broke down and got a new phone.
Yes, I broke down and got a new phone because the other one, I wasn't getting text messages. And they might not have been texting me back, so I blamed it on the phone. I might have been just being ignored, but I just blamed it on the phone, so I got a new phone. So, all right. So now, why can't I? See, look, when I go in here, I'm
so
on
who's
Elev8tion.
our host?
Our host is, I want to share it to my page, so why can't I? See?
Told in the building.
Time to get back.
What do you want to write?
Okay.
So, Corey, since, Zell kind of just in this social networking, blip right now, tell us what it is that you do.
I am a business owner. I own a barbershop named Truth Be Told.
Can you stop leaning back, being cool, and getting to the mic? Thank you.
Okay, woo. That's how to say.
This is what we do, though, man. This is what we do. This is hostile. He does my hair. I'm hostile, so he's used to it.
About to say, we just got here. Can we just start off nice and easy, like a Monday morning should be? Like an easy Monday.
Can we start again?
Okay, let's start again. All right. Now, wait a minute, I'm trying to put this. Okay. All right, let's start again. Okay. Today we have.
Yo, this is so strange.
This is strange because we have one mic. Today we have Corey Barr and George. What's your last name? Massey. George Massey. Corey is the CEO of Truth Be Told Barbershop. So Corey will be here today talking about his journey from starting out to where you are now. So lean into the mic, talking to the mic. Oh, and as guests, when guests come on,
here we go.
They do bring gifts. And Truth Be Told Barbershop, they have T-shirts, but
they coming.
I don't see any. So
they coming. We didn't have your size.
Yeah, we need colors and sizes. That's all.
Yeah.
Mediums. And what color you want?
What's your size?
Medium.
Medium.
Shout out my shirt guy, Dawson.
Got
I want red.
You want red? What color would you like?
White is fine.
White is fine. She always wanted to be.
That crispy white.
Crispy white.
So okay, we'll be expecting our T-shirts. You come on the show, you have to bring a gift.
Too hard.
I wasn't informed.
I told you. When did I get my haircut? Thursday?
Is she putting you on? Is she embarrassing you?
No, never.
If you'd have told me, I would have got it done.
I know, George. I know. But, and I want to say everybody did love my haircut, the bag. They were like, oh my God, I really like the bag. So,
I'm glad
great
to hear
job.
that. I'm glad to hear that.
Okay, so Corey, start out by telling us a little, and actually you're from Cumberland County, right?
Originally raised, born in Bridgeton, New Jersey.
All right, B-Town. They call it B-Town? B-Town.
I actually moved from Bridgeton when I was like 15 years old. We moved to Atlantic County with my mother at around 15 years old. But I grew up on Laurel Street, North Laurel Street.
So shout out to North Laurel Street.
Yes, indeed.
Shout out to North Laurel Street.
Ended up coming back to Bridgeton after being down in Atlantic County for a couple of years. Keep telling me to raise up. You can't hear me?
Maybe not, I don't know.
My foot hurt. I was running trying to get, let me tell y'all something, y'all. My foot, like, I almost broke. I think I might have broke my ankle.
Yo.
Trying to get here because I was trying to make, you know, be on time.
And I watched it.
And he said he laughed,
It was funny, guys.
Right now, I'm in a lot of pain. I mean, a lot of pain.
Did he like fall and tumble, or did he?
Nah, but he twisted good, though. I seen him from my rear view mirror. I was looking back like, what he doing? Then I seen his ankle twist. I was like, oh, that look like it hurt.
So I will be going to the hospital after I leave here.
Lord.
Because
It looked bad.
it feel bad. But
So you guys have something in common about ankles.
I know, yeah.
that's something.
And it was my right one too.
I can't afford to be.
I still went to work. Cast on and
You
everything.
want to take a look at it, make sure it didn't balloon like yours did. You know.
Well, when
you worked
he didn't
before
take
you went to the
he didn't
hospital?
take his sneaker off yet, so you take that sneaker off, yeah.
That's why I ain't taking it off.
You'll be all right.
I know from experience.
He can't even focus. We talking about
He can't. He like hold his head like
Get to
this
it,
thing
brother.
hurts.
I'm hurting. I ain't gonna lie. I'm hurting real bad right now.
See,
But I still showed up. I'm still
I
here.
thank you, and I thank you. I appreciate it. I really do. I appreciate it. And I hope your ankle ain't broke.
I hope it's not either. I can't afford to have a broke ankle right now, even though I got Aflac.
But you can still go to work.
yo, this is gonna be an interesting
I know.
session.
I know. So, how did you start off being a barber? Did you always, and honestly, Corey's really good. He's good. Like, I'll watch him and he just like, he got all these gadgets, like, on his arms. I swear. And he's like, that's all you hear. And I'll be like, it's like an arm of gadgets, just different clippers and,
Wow.
and he's like, yeah, he's good. Like, he's
Wow.
really, really.
Actually, I started out, I'm going to give a shout out to my uncle Raymond Bard. I was 13, 14 years old, and I watched my uncle. He used to cut in the house, and then he was cutting at a barbershop in downtown Bristol called Dave's Barbershop. He came home with a knot, like a bunch of money, and I thought my uncle was selling drugs. So I asked him, so, "Uncle, you selling drugs?" He told me, "Nah." He said, "I ain't believe him. I thought he was selling drugs." So he took me down to the barber shop, and I went down there and watched him make all this money, and I said, that's what I want to do. And I always knew how to draw, so it came easy to me. But he taught me everything I know, like, all the way up until, you know, I started learning things on my own. But the love and passion that I had for it came from my Uncle Raymond. So shout out to my Uncle Raymond Barr. Love you, Uncle.
And you still cutting?
Yeah, he's still cutting. Actually, he's trying to embark on opening up Dave's again. So God bless him on that journey. Just hope that you know, everything works out for him, and to support him, whatever I can do for him.
And you got somebody, did you go to cosmetology school or?
Yes, went down in Florida. Actually, I was part of my story because I was actually in a rehab at the time.
When you went to cosmetology school?
Yes.
Now, when was you in a rehab?
Which time?
And see, this is the story I wanted everybody to hear about, you know, because some people think that, you know, when people can open up their own businesses or they're doing great, they don't know the real story behind.
The struggle behind it.
The struggle behind getting to where you had to get to.
Well, first of all, I want to say that, you know, it was hard for me for a long time to tell anybody that I was an addict, that I was addicted to the drugs, that I was this dude that I used to talk about when I was younger, seeing people on the street corners not selling clothes, selling food out the refrigerator. I became that person. So being here today and being vulnerable is very, very, like, it's helpful for me today. It helps me to be able to go on with my life.
Because you're speaking at Rowan tomorrow, right?
Yes, yes.
Rowan College. So we got first dibs.
Yes, y'all did.
Rowan. we got, Mind Elevation got first dibs.
But I started, actually, I got into, I always worked all my life. Around 18 years old, I got into selling drugs, and really didn't embark on drinking or any of that. I didn't party. I was a soccer player all my life. I played soccer ever since I was 6 years old. I actually thought I was good enough till I could play pro, and came close. But I'm gonna leave that for another part of my story later on. Anyway, I sold drugs. End up around 22, 23, I started using drugs. Same thing that I was selling, I ended up starting to use it. It became a problem after years, and truth be told, 18 years of addiction that I went through. One of my biggest problems that I had is that I was smart. I was so smart until I thought I can defeat this on my own. I was so secretive until I thought that nobody knew. I didn't want to tell nobody that I had a problem. So I couldn't get the help that I needed. I ended up hitting rock bottom. I think in 2010, I was facing 10 years in prison for a robbery. Granted, I did not commit this robbery. And, but I was doing something that I shouldn't have been doing at the time. And I ended up going to court for 2 years, and I took it to trial because I was not going to jail based on what they was talking about. So I went to trial and actually defended myself, and I was found not guilty. I was acquitted of all charges, except the shoplifting part of it. That's what I was intentionally doing. I was shoplifting to get high, to feed my addiction. This is my man G right here. He knows a lot about my story. Me and him walk down the same streets together. Opposite sides of the fence somewhat, but sometimes we ended up in the same path or doing the same thing, just not in depth. Different drugs, different whatever, different habits. I ended up in 2013 was my last arrest. The last time I was ever arrested. At that time when I got arrested.
And that's after the 10 years?
After but let me go back to the 10 to that. When I got arrested, 2010, and they told me, they came to my cell, to the holding cell, and they were saying, Mr. Barr, we are charging you with robbery. I ain't never been to prison in my life, and I never intended to go to prison, and I still ain't. I ain't call it the Bluebird bus or whatever you want to call it. I never been up 206. I don't even go up there to go shopping or nothing. I don't want to know where 206 is.
You don't want to know where to.
You know what I mean? In the Bluebird bus they talk about, but I ain't never. So when they said that to me, you know, at the time I was like, I'm having chest pains. All right, I just wanted to go to the hospital. I just wanted to get out of that cell, and they was like, stop playing, boy, stop playing. Ain't nothing wrong with you. You going to jail. So they ended up calling the ambulance, and I was actually playing. But when the ambulance got there and they put me on this EKG, and then I started seeing them starting to move a little faster. Right? And I'm trying to find out why they moving so fast. So I end up, they put me in the ambulance, and the ambulance driving fast, and I get to the hospital, and they hook me up to their machines and everything. And next thing I hear over the intercom is cold blue, cold blue. And actually, I was having a heart attack.
Oh, wow.
And then it was like, you having another, right? I had 2 heart attacks right there in the hospital. And sometimes what you speak out of your mind, out of your mouth, comes to existence.
It manifests.
And I spoke that, and it manifested. I woke up in the hospital a day later with a police officer sitting there waiting on me to get well so he could take me to jail. And this is how sometimes God comes in and he intervenes for whatever reason. But I had, I think, about 8, 9 warrants plus a $50,000 bail for the robbery. But every night I stayed in the hospital, I think it was charging them $75,000 that Pleasantville Police Department had to eat.
Oh.
Yeah, so they wasn't trying to eat that. So I woke up to an officer shaking me, telling me to sign these papers. And actually, what the papers were was relieving me of all my warrants, everything, all everything. So now I was able to fight my case from the street. So I did that, and that's why I ended up defending myself, and I was found not guilty. Getting back to 2013, I was arrested, again, shoplifting. For my habit was bad. I'm saying bad. When I say it was so bad until I think me and the devil had a talk. And matter of fact, I was probably in the pits of hell at the time. And I was so bad until the devil done kicked me out of his spot. You know what I mean? He's like, you got to go. You terrible. I mean, so, and I laugh and I giggle about this, but this is serious. Addiction is serious. It's very serious. An officer that arrested me in 2013, I knew I was going away. I knew I was going to prison. I was facing 13 years in prison. I had 13 new felonies with a violation of probation for 4 years that I had. So they was going to make me do the 4 years plus give me the new charges, and they offered me 13 years, and I had 6 other pending charges coming in. So, like I said, I never been to prison or whatever. So,
How old were you at this time?
I was 42.
Something like that.
40, I'm 45 now, so yeah, 40, 41, 42. I realized that my life had come to an end far as running the streets one way or another, whether it was going to be in prison or I was going to stop and get some help. And I heard about this program called Drug Court. And I was getting ready to go to court. A lawyer came down and said to me, Mr. Barr, listen, the prosecutor that you have, she's going to roof you. Like, she has her scope on you. I was like, what you mean? He was like, the same prosecutor that you got now is the same prosecutor you beat in 2010. So she was kind of upset that I beat her. And he said, I suggest you take drug court. And I ain't know nothing about drug court. I heard, at the time, George, my man George was on drug court. And I was like, I don't care what I got to take, as long as I ain't going to prison. But the chances of me getting on drug court facing 13 years was real slim. I applied and I prayed and I prayed. And I said that I asked God, I said, if you give me this last chance to get my life together, I will never go back to the streets again. And I'm waiting for this letter to come in to the jail. People would get these letters and it would say one or two things. You accept it or you deny. And like 10 letters came in prior to mine. And every letter I seen, except for one person, was denied, denied, denied. For whatever reason, my letter came in. I went to my cell and I read it. And it said, I was accepted. And I cried like a baby. I cried like a baby. I cried. I literally cried. And I also made a vow to myself that I will do whatever they tell me to do. I've been to rehabs. I've been to several rehabs. Let me tell you, like, no matter what rehab, and I done been at the best. I've been to Florida. I've been to ones with the palm trees, the pool, the
like they have on
jacuzzi.
intervention. Yeah.
Like this is real. Like didn't matter what rehab, I wasn't ready.
Yeah, Betty Ford kind of rehab.
Yeah, I wasn't ready to stop doing what I. But this time, I didn't care what they said to me. They told me that I was going to go home from jail. They lied.
That's what they do.
They lied. They sent me to a rehab. So when I get to the rehab, I remember sitting down with the counselor. And God put people in your life for whatever reason. He put this counselor in my life and he asked me a question. He said, what are you willing to do for your recovery? First thing that came out of my mouth was like, whatever you want me to do, whatever it takes. He said, would you be willing to go to a halfway house? And I was like, that ain't part of my treatment plan. But little did I know, I had just signed my own signature to go to a halfway house just by the statements, just because I wasn't willing to do what it took. Now here I am, somebody that's been dealing with, or trying to deal with addiction, going through the pain and agony, the defeat, the mental anguish and the hurt that I put on my family, friends. I'm trying to tell this man or anybody else that I know how to treat myself. And I was doing that for years because I was so smart, right? I was so smart. So I ended up saying, you know what, let me stop. So to prove to this man, to this counselor, that I was the man that I said I am, I started studying, started reading NA books, starting to find out about my addiction, trying to find out what made me tick, why I kept doing the same thing over and over and over again. And I'm trying to prove, so actually trying to prove something to him, I actually educated
yourself.
It was a win-win. I ended up going to the halfway house. And I get there and have everything, they taught me how to live again. They taught me how to get up in the morning, make my bed, just do normal things that normal people should do, be on time.
Gave you some structure.
Gave me some structure. Everybody says drug court is a setup. It's a setup. It's a setup. And me and my man sit here today. It wasn't a setup. It was a setup. It was a setup for success.
Exactly.
And I think people say it's a setup. Those are the ones that they aren't ready to, you know, get clean and sober. And a lot of people think addiction is not just drugs. Addiction is cigarettes, alcohol, food, sex, gambling.
It's everything.
Everything that consumes your time and in the process causes your body some harm or causes harm to like family or friends, like separates you from relationships. So people just think, oh, they're a drug addict, they do heroin, they do cocaine. But some people have food addictions. Some people have, addictions to shopping. There's addictions to sex. There's addictions to internet.
To whatever makes us feel good.
To feel good.
Yes.
Yeah.
We addicted to the feeling.
And people think it is very, because I'm a cigarette smoker, so I think I've tried to quit like 1,000 times. And it's one day it's going to happen. One day it's going to happen. But you have to want to quit. And that's what a lot of people don't understand. I'm like, I actually like smoking, so that's why it's very difficult for me to quit.
And that was one of my biggest things. I actually, like, don't get me wrong, if I could get high without suffering the consequences behind it, I would go get high. But I understand that there's consequences behind what, like, I can't drink. I understand it. I don't drink. I don't smoke bud. I don't do none of that. That's just me. Like, I was clean at one time. In 33, I was clean for 5 years, all the way up until 38. When I say clean, I wasn't in recovery. It's a difference. It's a difference. And when I go back to when I was saying I was younger, I was playing soccer. Me and my grandfather had a talk. He used to tell me, like, you ain't got it no more, you washed up. So I got back in shape somewhat, went out and tried out for the soccer team, and made the semi-pro team at the age of 33. And I'm out here playing with guys that's 21, 22. Now, don't get me wrong, after tryouts, I got in that car, and I went home, and it took two, 3 people to get me out the car.
You felt that 33.
I felt every bit of it. But I know, like, without drugs in my system and my mind was clear at the time, we was able to go out and win that championship that year, my first year back. So I always knew that if I can set that down, I can be great.
So what happened from that period you were sober to what made you go back to start using it?
Actually, I was with a female, and
don't blame it on her.
I mean, we can.
I'm gonna start rocking now.
We can make excuses for whatever. At the end of the day, it was my choice. But this was, I'm gonna tell you why but it's no excuses.
The trigger.
This
it
what
was
triggered me.
triggered.
I didn't know how to deal with anxiety. I didn't know how to deal with my feelings. And the only way I knew how to deal with my feelings were to numb them. And at the time I was with a female, and I ended up catching in the room with my man, with the best man that was in my wedding. Yeah.
That's
That's trigger.
For weeks, I went through the anxiety. I couldn't sleep. And the only thing, that roller coaster, you know how you go down the roller coaster and that butterfly you get, that was just, it was just overwhelming. The only thing I knew how to get rid of that feeling was to get high. And I started, and once I started, it's like, ain't no stopping. Ain't no stopping. I go hard. Whatever I do, I go hard at it. And understanding that I have to balance. I have to balance myself. Balance. Life is about being able to balance whatever you're doing. Whether it's exercising, you can exercise too much. You can drink too much water. Whatever it is, you need to have balance.
Yeah, you have to have a balance.
So
right.
that was one of the things, and being able to control that's why drug court was so wonderful. It gave me the insight of who I am and understanding who. First of all, I had to tell the truth.
Which is the hardest thing.
I had to tell the truth. First, I had to tell, I have a problem. What is your problem? Oh, ain't nothing wrong with me. That's what I did for the longest. Ain't nothing wrong with me. I just need to stop. Just send me to a detox, or just send me. And I never worked on this. I only worked on my physical.
Right.
I went to jail in 2013 weighing 165 pounds. 3 months later, I came out weighing 235. And I'm not saying me going to jail. I'm saying this is because I want y'all to know, like, where I was at when I was out there.
And you were actually homeless at one point, right?
Yes, I was homeless. I was at the point where I wanted to die. I just was I knew, I always knew, like, if I died like that, if I committed suicide or something, then I'm going to hell.
Right.
So that was not an option. But I wanted to die.
And technically you were actually somewhat killing yourself by doing the drugs anyway.
Slowly. But it was some days I didn't want to wake up.
But it's crazy that he was killing his physical, but his spiritual he was concerned about.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So it became a point where I was spiritually disconnected. Like, and that's when thoughts, and when you let them thoughts override whatever you believe in, however you were brought up, and understand something, that being on drugs is not a moral deficiency. It is not. See, when you think, oh, this is wrong, when your mom taught you this, and your dad taught you that, church taught you this. One thing that I had a problem with growing up was church. I remember going to church, and I always used to hear the preacher say, well, the world's going to end tomorrow, or next week, the world's coming to an end. So me being a kid, this is how I perceived that. My perception. My perception of me hearing that was saying, I'm going to do what I do right now.
Because it's going to end anyway.
Here I am 40 years later, and I'm still here. So all this time that I wasted because of hearing that. So I still go to church. I still listen to T.D. Jakes on the, he motivates me to get up and do what I need to do, and just puts that spirit that just keeps me connected.
That energy.
Yeah. But it was hard. It was hard.
So now, because a lot of people when it comes to addiction, and I'm not, like, addiction is not my specialty. I'm more on the mental health side. But with addiction, it's a lot of people, and even with me, because I notice even with me, with the smoking, it's like I have to learn how to live as a non-smoker now. I've been smoking for 32 years.
Wow.
Yeah, 30. I calculated the other day. I was like, wow. So I've been smoking for 32 years. Now, if I quit, I have to live my life as a non-smoker. How do I do that? Because that's what addiction is. When people who've been addicted to drugs for so long, it's like, how do I live sober? Yeah. And when you're sober, that's when you have to look at a lot of things in your life. You have to actually analyze a lot of things. You have to, resolve problems. You got to actually tackle problems head on.
Right.
Not, drink or snort and run from it.
That's right.
Yeah, so that's a difficult, people don't realize, but that is so difficult when you've been in addiction for a long period of time is how do I change my life? Now I have to live my life totally different.
Right.
You have to change your environment sometimes, the people you associate with. Because not everybody's going to say, oh, well, you know.
I respect the fact
that you don't, and I won't drink around you, or I won't, you know. But a lot of people won't respect that.
Right.
And sometimes, and it could be hard because I know a lot of people that quit smoking and, you know, will be around there smoking.
They smell it and
they're like,
right back on it, or they have a drink and they're right back on it.
Yes, and they were like, well, could I just, and I'll say, no, I'm not giving you one. You know, no, you
That's
just
when they
not
jump you,
smoking
right?
too long, like, keep going.
That's when they jump you, right? Cigarette.
No, I don't give them.
That was one of my things too. Like, I would go to jail or go to rehab and come home, and then when they say people, places, and things, it's vital. So when you say, you know, you stop doing something, or you want to stop smoking, or see this man right here. This is my manager in my shop, but he's also a friend, a brother. You know what I mean, like. So his story alone it motivated me. So we pushed each other.
We feed off each other.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We really do.
We
Like,
really
he motivated me just as much as I motivated him.
So when did y'all meet? Like,
Well, listen, I'm on the other side of addiction, right? And I smoke bud, I drink, things like that. But I sold drugs, and I was addicted to the lifestyle. Now, Corey was my man. He cut my hair the whole nine. I ended up, I used to serve Corey. And ironically, I now work for Corey. So God is good all the time.
You know, my mind's like 20 steps ahead. Like, you know, we broadcasting live, right? And you know, this dude is talking about he serviced him. You know, this shit ain't gonna go right when we walk outside, right?
Nowadays, I paid my consequences.
That's right.
That's how I got on drug court, so they know. But yeah,
We
me
can
seeing.
talk about this today. This is
it's okay to talk about it. It's okay to talk about it now.
Yeah, it's alright. We dedicate our story to helping the youth know that no matter how deep they in, on whatever side of the fence you on, it's always a way out. You know what I mean? So we just trying to help people with our stories.
You guys do a lot with the haircuts for, kids, and sometimes they used to have things for, like, if the kids bought in their grades, then they could, get a free haircut. Was it free haircut or?
Yes, make the honor roll, they get free haircuts.
Birthday
Merit roll, they get half price of. Birthdays.
Oh yeah, because I get free cuts on my birthday too.
Free haircuts on their birthday.
Let me put an age limit on that.
No, no, like, no.
Nah, anybody.
But that's anybody. Anybody that comes in that's a client of ours that has seen us multiple times, then we honor that because it's just the way that we give back. Even with some of the kids, we sponsor kids. Some kids that get free haircuts all up until they graduate school. If they continue to go to college, then we still give them a discount or continue on, depending on what's going on with their situation. But single parents, we try to. I got kids that that's 3 brothers. Mother, she's having issues raising the boys, but I told her I picked her youngest son because he's going to spend more time. Well, being that he's the youngest, I want to have more time to cut his hair until he turns 18. So I chose him to cut his hair until he turns 18. The other 2 they have to pay for. It's kids that play sports, does well in school, and then I also sponsor them, and they get free haircuts. It's just a way that
to give back to the community and show kids that somebody actually does care. A lot of these kids really sometimes think, they're either overlooked at home, overlooked at school, and for you just to even, and an example, business owner, mentorship, yeah, it's like you're actually giving them some hope, even if they don't know your story.
We kind of use it as we realize we got a platform. So every young person who sits in the chair, we got a chance to change their mind, change their way of thinking to something more positive. And we do, all day, every day, we sit and preach to the youth and try to motivate them and get them to do better. You know what I mean?
So you guys don't have a nonprofit, you guys just do this on a whim?
Yes. It was my probation officer, I remember, I've been speaking in far as the NA meetings, the AA meetings, we both have. My probation officer, I spoke in court, because I had to, I'll tell you about this other situation too. No, I'll get to that so I can line you up for this. I was supposed to be on drug court until 2019. I was let off of drug court last year of May. I was only on drug court for 2.5 years. My sentence was a 5-year sentence, probation, or drug court sentence, with 2 5s. What it was, 5 years running wild with another 5. So I'd have had to do 5 and then complete that and do another 5 if I would have messed up. So I got off in 2.5 years because I was doing exactly what they told me to do.
Which is almost impossible.
Yeah, no,
The
drug,
program
yeah.
is tough.
It's tough. I heard drug court is very, very tough.
And I got off early as well from following in his footsteps. Each one teach one.
Yeah.
So when did you come off of drug court?
It's a long story. I actually got off before him because he hit a couple bumps in the road and it would have knocked me off track, but he never lost hope. He never.
So he's the mastermind of it.
Yeah, he stayed focused and he pursued through and he got off too.
It's crazy.
Right behind me.
He was just content of just getting through, doing his time. I wasn't, and my probation officer actually put me up for early termination. She put me up, and then the judge denied me after I did everything they told me to do. No sanctions, none of that.
They even gave him a date.
So yeah, I had a date to get off and everything.
Oh yeah, I remember.
And then he was swinging by, and we bounce off each other. Like if I'm doing something, then he wants to do it because this is how we uplift each other. So he went ahead and put his paperwork in, and then he got it. He got off, but I got denied. Not just that I got denied. This is how I know that I have changed because this is what happened to me. I got denied. That day I got denied. My head gasket went on my truck. All this happened in one day. I was going through it. I called him, and this is what we can do today. We call each other. We call whoever. Listen, I'm going through such and such. Just talk to me. And that positivity, that energy that we feed off of, my family, my support group, my circle is so strong. I even called, we didn't talk. Like, I mean, and about her difficulties, about mine, and just to being able to have.
Yeah, because we're both going through this. Well,
Yeah.
He's done with the state. He got his from the state.
So
he's like, and I was at the point because he had called, and I was like, and I was really frustrated, and he talked to me, gave me that little pep, and I was like, okay, because sometimes, and I think it's with the strong people too, we get those kind of tests. We get them, to just make sure that we are ready for the blessing we're about to get.
Right.
So,
Exactly.
yes.
Exactly. So after all of that, my PO, I waited a month, and I'm always thinking. I went back at the judge, and without no disrespect, I went in there as a respectful, productive citizen that they created. They gave me everything that I needed to be where I am. And now I felt like y'all was holding me back from opening my barbershop because I couldn't be on probation and be a business owner.
Really?
I couldn't receive my state license and be on probation.
Wow.
State of New Jersey is rough.
So I had already put in play, and I was already making a move to do this. And I went to them, and because I owed over $10,000 in restitution.
They only held him back for money.
They
He
held
did
me back
everything he
for
was
money.
supposed to do to get off.
So
Should have been done.
But
They
come to
held him
find
back.
out, when I went back to the judge and spoke to her, I actually was quoting the law to her without quoting the law. And I wasn't doing it purposely, it was by accident, but I ended up. So when I got done telling her or asking her or explaining myself and my situation, she looked at me and she said, "You'll be released next week."
Wow.
So that propelled me to be able to, it put me in a position to be able to go ahead and continue my dream. And this is what it started with. They asked you to write down your goals in the rehab. This is what they, so I wrote down all my goals, and one of my goals was to open my own barbershop. And I asked the judge, I said, "Judge, y'all gave me this, what I have. Y'all gave me this sense of direction. Y'all gave me stability. Y'all gave me y'all gave me my confidence back, my will to live. Y'all gave me all of that back. And now you want to take it away." And I said, "Is this what this program is built that's just keeping it simple. I went in deeper, but I'm gonna just keep it simple. So she had to look at me and say, "Nah, this is not what this program's about. We are not here to hold you back." And that's when they told me I was off the program. But my probation officer came to me and asked me. She said, "Why don't you be a counselor, a drug counselor?" And I said, "My platform that I'm trying to create, I can touch more people in that barbershop than I could ever touch being a drug counselor." Because, like you said, it's not all about drugs. It's about the behavior. See, drugs is just a symptom of something else. That's just the after. If I'd have dealt with my anxiety a long time ago.
Yep.
It was self-medicated.
I was self-medicated. So instead of me going to somebody, being able to talk about what was going on with me, I would try to cure myself. And this, I use this, you have a doctor, he's a back doctor. He's an excellent, #1 in the country. But can that doctor do surgery on himself?
No.
We can't. We all need, yes. We all need some, as a therapist,
So
I know.
that's where I'm at with it. Sometimes it's hard for people to admit that they have an issue. And
That ego.
That was one of my biggest things I could not and I did not want to admit. Even though I looked the part, I act the part, I talked the part, I stole. You know what I mean? I was a thief. I would go in a store and take anything that wasn't nailed down. If it was nailed down, I would go get a hammer and not nail it.
Oh, wow.
That's how bad.
Facts.
That's how bad I was.
That's facts.
All the way to the point where I ain't on probation no more or nothing, but
You did some things that you weren't too proud of.
yes, I did a lot of things that I wasn't too proud of. Thank you.
Yeah, you gotta bring that
Thank you.
Statute of limitations.
But,
we don't know what that is.
but
So, we just,
It don't make us accessories.
hey.
But
You gotta be quick.
I was able to put myself in a position to open my own barbershop, and with people like my man to help and support my family. Now don't get it wrong. If I'd have known what I know now, I probably wouldn't have attempted it.
It was rough.
It was rough.
You would have went through it. Because all those things that you went through made you into who you are today. And that's what people always try to pull you away from, of shining the shadows on it. Like, oh no, you don't want to talk about that.
It's ironic that you said that. I was listening to TV Jake this morning, right? And he was talking about how they was putting lights on their ankles so they can see. And don't get me wrong, because I ain't gonna sit here and try to quote exactly what he said, but this is basically what he was saying was they put lights on around their ankles so they can walk in the dark and see where they're going. But what they could not see what was in front of them. And God gave me just enough light to know where I was stepping, not to see where I was going, because if I knew where I was going, I wouldn't have went there.
Yeah.
Right? So I know, like, now, if I needed to do this again, I have the knowledge, I have the know-how, and I know what it takes. A lot of blood, when they say blood, sweat, and tears, let me tell y'all something. This tear part of this, of building your own business, is
no joke.
It's no joke.
And you opened, like, I just want to open up a practice as far as, like, I don't have a building. It's just me. I'm the building. Yeah, but you had a building. I mean, when I say the shop is really, the shop is beautiful. It is really, really, you in the bathroom, like, you really want to go to the bathroom. Like, you're not scared. Yeah, like, you're just like, woo, you want to kind of sit down and relax for a little bit. You're like, wow, it's beautiful. Like, the shop is really, really, you can tell he did a lot of detailed work. Like,
so you have
nice.
You must have been given the blueprint for you to strive so hard to get where you're at now. God gave you a glimpse.
Yes.
And when he did, that's when you were like, okay, I gotta run.
Yes.
And it wasn't, you know, some people open up stuff and they half do it. Like, it's just like, okay, and I'll just do this late. He just went full force.
No.
Like, he went.
It was when I thought about doing this, I would tell people, George, I told a couple other people of my plans. And I had a couple people tell me like, yo, just why don't you just open up, put 3 chairs or 5 chairs, and I was like, if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it. And I told you, whatever I do, I go hard at it, no matter what it is. So I knew that this was gonna be a struggle, but I knew that I had built a support, a group of people around me that would support me in whatever I done. So I would tell George, like, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to do that. And he'd be like, man, get out of here.
Whatever he said.
And then after a while, he started seeing, like, okay, you got that done now, and now you got this done.
Now what's next?
And what's now? That's what he started asking me, like, yo, what's next? Like, let's do it. So, in the whole, we did everything in the shop except electrical work. And the only reason we didn't do the electrical work was because we needed a licensed contractor to do the electrical work. But I'd have done that myself as well.
Wow.
And it helped me to help him because I educated him on
I learned a whole lot.
How to open, yeah.
Your own business, it's not as easy as people think it is. Like you said, there's a lot of tears in it. But if you ask anybody who's matched their success level, their biggest thing is because I decided to do things differently.
Yes.
There was no consistency of an old pattern in any of it.
You gotta change your thinking.
You have to, yeah.
Right. But not only are you changing your thinking, you're literally changing your whole entire lifestyle. Because before you go to bed at 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, get up at 6, 7 o'clock in the afternoon to be straight. Now when you're in that mind frame of success, you're not sleeping.
Yeah.
He didn't sleep for months.
You're not sleeping.
Yeah, he was looking 2 kinds of crazy.
No, you're not sleeping. You're on
he was at a different location and he just be looking stressed
you're
out
on that
crazy.
hunt. Right, you're on that hunt. People come
Yes.
up to you talking about, damn, you're tired. And you're looking at them like, I'm great. I'm not tired. But inside your mind, it's because your mind is time traveling to where it is that you have your completion to. And a lot of people don't understand that it mentally, physically, emotionally is draining. And once you get that little taste of success, it don't stop. It's a continuous drive. You gotta do it. You gotta do it. You gotta do it. You gotta do it. And you don't sleep. You don't sleep. Bet you go to bed what, 3 in the morning?
Yes, you want it. Like
Up at what?
Yes.
5:45.
I've been having a problem sleeping for years. Like that, my mind it don't shut down. It don't. I'm always thinking about what's next.
You were created to build.
What's going on? Like how to do
I
this.
sleep I sleep all the time.
This one is sleep on command.
Because you know what, all that.
She'll text you. She'll text you. I'm gonna take a nap.
Yep.
Or 2 seconds later,
I'm gone.
gone.
And I guess it was all the years of college that I didn't sleep. I'm catching up now. But then as soon as I wake up, oh, thank you God for another day. Okay, I gotta send this email. I gotta do this. I gotta write this one up. I gotta run over here. I got this I have to do. Oh my God, I gotta send that vacancy report. Yeah, it's like I just go.
Like levels of success that you have to achieve. There was a quote that I read that said, you know, as I die, as I take my last breath, I'm grateful for every second that I was able to use all of my talent. Do you know how crazy that is to use all of your talent? And as you take your last breath, you're remembering it all.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So
and
then you're in a good place.
And sometimes, even like with this position, it's not, you know, but it's okay, done it. It's like, okay, I'm there. I did it. I'm a director. Okay, cool.
Now what?
Not my forte. But I'm learning everything I possibly can in this process.
But your what next is this step is going to take.
It's going to help me to develop and get my own. So
be patient.
So yeah, and it's like it's just kind of like learn all you can and then take it with you
forward
and move forward.
Move forward. That's the key, is moving forward. A lot of us stay stuck in old relationships, old mind frames, old jobs. We stay stuck. Stagnant water is nothing but disease.
Exactly.
So if you're gonna stay there, and you know, if I already did one loop because I failed and I had to come back around and I see you there, I'm going like this. Yeah, no. See ya, because stagnant water loves misery, so it kind of spreads off and looks for people to take into its little, you know, hut.
Because you could have just stayed working, you know, cutting hair with weird,
right.
You could have just stayed there.
But that's why when he said
that was part of again drug court giving me that. Yeah, seeing that when you talking about that misery, that I didn't want to be around, and I got to limit that conversation because I don't want to bring nobody else's world into my, you know. But I wasn't happy where I was at. I wasn't satisfied, and I thought it should be better. I knew I deserved better. I knew I deserved better. I wanted better.
That's a statement within itself.
And it wasn't even about me. Totally, it was about like the people that I was working around, my coworkers. I was looking at all of us like, yo, like.
He told me he wanted to create a better environment for not just the barbers, for the clients as well, and we did it. We definitely did it.
And
Yeah, because it's a whole different vibe at your place than before, but and sometimes you look at that and you have to, because I see people and they're miserable going to work, you know, they're on Facebook like, I hate my job, I want to die, but you've been here 15 years, so, you know, and it's something like, sometimes it motivates certain people to just say, okay, you know what, I don't want to keep listening to other people. I don't want to deal with other people's madness. I don't want to get yelled at every day, or I don't want to keep getting rolled up. Guess what? I work for myself. I work for myself.
That was another thing. I knew that I couldn't fire my boss.
Yeah, I can't fire my boss.
The only thing I can do was to create my own, and that's what I did. I'm about being the best that I can be and having the people. I want my establishment, my barbershop, to be ran in the light of, you don't know who's running it.
So basically, he's trying to take over your job. He's going to have a counseling service while you're in the barber chair.
I tried to get this. Yes. See, now you have your own. Hold up. Wait a minute.
That's where this
I'm
is
about
going.
to have me an office.
It's going. Exactly. He's
up.
going to rent out one of his chairs.
You're going to get your hair cut, and you can come in the back and have a counseling session with me. There we go.
There you go.
That's it.
Overhead taken care of.
Yep. And I won't even have to pay for my haircuts. I won't even have to pay for my haircuts anymore. Good. See?
It's a win-win.
It's a win-win. See? Remember we used to always talk about that. Used to say, you know, people come in to get their hair cut, then they come back to a counseling session.
You sure enough said that too.
Yeah, so.
That would be a different kind of environment.
But it would be like,
it'd be dope because now you got men coming in there to get therapy.
Yeah.
So they ain't got to complain about you guys anymore.
Yeah. There you go. And it's a good.
And they're so quiet about it.
I know.
So I was like, yo, y'all want to sign this paper?
and their barbershop, you go there. It's by appointment. Everybody has appointments, right?
We take walk-ins.
They do take walk-ins.
We take walk-ins.
Where are they located?
Well, most of the time, me and George are booked up. But for the most part, we have other barbers there that take walk-ins.
How many more barbers you have there? You, George.
5 total.
Okay. The girl, what's her name?
Chardonnay. It's Chris Cook.
Okay. And then somebody else. Who's employed with me?
I got a lot of things.
Who's employed with me? And you go and you get you can actually make an appointment online. And the one thing I really love about there is you wait maybe 10 minutes. Maybe.
We try to get you in to get you out.
Yes.
We try.
It's
we
not.
fall short. We ain't gonna lie and say we won't fall short.
Yeah, but their fall short is not, okay, I came in at lunchtime, it's dinner, and I'm still sitting at the barbershop waiting to get my hair cut. Because they go in and they cut. They don't cut and just, hey man, all right, this is my barbershop thing. Yo man, shoot. Yeah, let me tell you about this bomb, man. He was coming. Shoot. Yo, did you see old boy? Yeah. And I'll be like, sitting in there for 2 hours, just sitting in the chair. Not, just waiting part. So there is I love it. You go in,
What's the
out.
name of it?
It's Truth Be Told Barbershop. What's the address?
5924 Main Street, New Jersey.
5924
Main
Street, Unit A, Mays Landing. It is only about 25 minutes from Violence, not a big deal. So, and you go in, you're in, you're out, you get your hair cut. It's a nice cut. You're never disappointed. So, we want everybody to actually And where can they sign? They can go. How can they make an appointment online?
How can I make an appointment online?
We got a booking link. We got an online booking link. But oh, you know what? You can go to Facebook. You can go to Instagram. You can go to our page. You can go to our website.
They actually have it's Truth Be Told Barbershop.
Spelled the same way?
Same way.
.com.
On Facebook, right?
Oh yeah, we got the Facebook page.
Facebook page, because you can actually make an appointment on Facebook through their Facebook page.
Yeah, it has a book now button, so you can click book now. You can book that way. You can find us through the website. I'm pretty sure you can get us through everybody's Instagram page, and it's all one link. So you have access to any one of our barbers through one link.
The one, yes, because it shows choose a barber,
Yeah,
and
you
you
can
can
pick your
pick which barber.
We need to have him back on, because this wasn't even enough time, because we had 5 more minutes left. Show, and I would stay a little longer, but I gotta take my man to basketball practice.
Oh, yes. So we will thank you for coming on.
No problem. Thanks for having us.
And we appreciate it. So we really hope that your message gets told and it affects somebody out there. It'll have a profound effect on. So we appreciate you coming. Next time we're on our t-shirts.
Definitely.
Thank you.
Definitely.
Thank you, medium, red,
Thanks
white.
for having us.
So go to the link, Truth Be Told Barbershop on Facebook, and you can actually schedule an appointment there, or they do take walk-ins. 520, what is it? 5 what?
Your address.
Oh, 5824.
59.
5924.
5924.
We all know all.
5924 East Main Street, Mays Landing, New Jersey. Now we hope, Mr. Corey, your foot gets better.
Yeah.
I hope it's not broken.
That's all I can
He in
say.
pain. So we will see you next Monday.
Happy week, everyone.
Have a happy week. Ugh.